I'll be very brief. I think this is the toughest year for the cities and towns and counties in the state of New York since I have been the mayor. And I'm putting aside the fiscal crisis which we overcame. I'm now talking about all of us being subjected to the vicissitudes over which we have no control, and that relates to the federal government. Graham, Rudman, and other reductions that are pending are devastating if they in fact go through. And we obviously will mount a fight to deal not only with the entire matter, but with portions of the matter. General revenue sharing in particular is the greatest loss that is pending in Washington as a result of their actions. To the city of New York, it represents in a full budget year $270 million. But I want to tell you that proportionately that's less a part of our budget than it would be for any other locality. I'm not talking about absolute numbers, I'm talking about proportionately in the state and probably around the country as well. So we are in very difficult straits, and we're here to get the state to focus on that in a whole host of ways, and that will be the subject of testimony shortly before the Joint Finance Welfare Committee. I don't know that we have a commonality of approach. I think we're close to it, and it becomes more semantics than substance. But let me tell you what my own position is from a substantive point of view. I do perceive the federal government and the state government to be different. I believe that the federal government has, over a period of years, demonstrated its hostility to localities. That the city of New York in the last 3 or so years has lost over $1.5 billion in federal funding. I blame the federal government, and I see them as hostile. I wouldn't want to say that they are an enemy of the people, but they're close to it. I see the state of New York differently. I see the state of New York as having each year helped the localities. Obviously, never to the point where we thought it was adequate, but fairer each year. And what we're saying this year is that the help is even more necessary than in the years before. So in dealing with the state government, with the governor, with the state legislature, we're not dealing with the enemy. We're dealing with comrades in arms. We just want to raise their consciousness about the difficulties that we're suffering.
Do you feel Governor Cuomo has let you down, though, in this budget proposal?
No, you have to understand. Is that okay?
Go right ahead.
The governor has a position. I don't happen to agree with it. I would never say he lets us down. His position is that for the state to, at this moment, concentrate on how to undo the damage that the federal government is creating would somehow or other be surrendering to the federal government. Nothing could be further from the truth as I perceive it. It's a difference in strategy. I have never believed that if you know that there's a cancer there, that you just pretend it's not there and that somehow or other it's going to go away. There is a cancer. The cancer happens to be Washington. It is a cancer that is spreading. And by cancer, I'm now talking about the need to reduce the delivery of essential services, because the federal funding heretofore available as part of every local budget throughout the country, general revenue sharing, provides budgetary support to 39,000 local units of government and 300 Indian tribes. If we got the Indians to lead the charge, we probably could win this battle, because everybody should be concerned about them, but they also should be concerned about the localities. Now, what we're saying is, speaking for myself, others may or may not agree in totality, what we're saying is that the state has to understand that no matter what they do, there will be federal reductions. We're going to try to reduce those federal reductions, but there is no question that there will be, and localities cannot pick them up on their own. We desperately need state assistance. And Angelo and others will have pointed out that for the last 3 years, every year the governors have said that the state will have no budgetary surplus. And for the last 3 years, the budgetary surpluses have been prognosticated by the majority leader, Warren Anderson, as 400 million, 500 million, whatever it is, and every year it's been more than $100 million more than what the majority leader in the Senate has said. So even though the governor now says that there will not be a budgetary surplus, and I think Warren Anderson says it's something like $440 million, I'm telling you it's going to be closer to $600 million. And what we're saying is that the localities will be faced with either a reduction in services or an increase in real estate taxes. And I don't think that either one of those should be allowed by the state of New York when it will be faced with what to do with its budgetary surplus.
Would you say?
What's it, close to $1.5 billion? $1.5 billion is what they voted. And I want to tell you that after they voted the first cut, they added another $250 million. Did you know that? That's what they did. I'm telling you, we don't want to jeopardize any part of that $1.5 billion. We want it. It's voted. But I'm telling you that between a reduction in essential services or an increase in the real property tax for homeowners, that people would not want an additional reduction in income taxes. Now, I've taken those, you know, not technical polls. At every dinner table I've been to and every public forum I've been to, I've asked people if you are faced with a reduction in services or an increase in your real property taxes, as opposed to getting a reduction in your income taxes, if they have the money on the state level to do it, which would you take? They said, we do not want a reduction in our essential services. We do not want an increase in our real property taxes, and we would rather be protected in those two areas than to have an additional income tax reduction, as nice as it is to have that. But if you are faced with choices, they took an intelligent choice. Essential services means cops, firefighters, teachers, sanitation. They don't want that reduced.
You see this now